The Regents podcast. The Regents podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Regents podcast. I am one of your hosts, Ellyn, and it's my co-host,
Aja. Hey, guys.
And hello, welcome. We we weren't really on vacation because, we still recorded.
True. Exactly.
I was, I try to not give too much information of what's going on because we want to be able to keep it vague. My friend Sam, she was like, when was this recorded? Because how far along in this thing are you now? Because in my mind, this is happening right now. And I was like,
it's in progress.
yeah, I was like, maybe a little bit. So we try to keep
timeline.
it vague because we
Yes.
want to keep everything very current, timely. We don't really talk about hot topics or anything like that.
No.
However, the one thing I will talk about that's brand new and timely is something I think I may have mentioned it once before on the podcast.
Okay.
Something new is I started doing Pilates.
And we love that.
And I'm excited because I really haven't been in the move your body other than getting my steps every day. I haven't been in the move your body world.
Okay.
And I'm really happy to be doing it again. It feels really good. I like the routine of it again. I like getting into that flow. And I know you work out pretty much daily. And when I saw you in person, I was like, oh, she looks so good.
Ew.
So sorry I didn't say that to you in person. When I left, I was just like, oh, I should have said that to her. I'm like, she looks great.
Oh, thanks, boo.
You do. You look great. And so I started going. And the thing I think I really like about it, because I've done Pilates, the at-home Pilates, the DVD Pilates.
Yes,
when I was 13,
I used to do. Me too.
And everyone's like, you need to lose weight.
Denise
so
Austin. I loved her.
Yeah,
Pilates
right. And
video.
remember the 100 arms, the 100 pumps,
Oh,
the arm
yes.
pumps. So they still do that.
It's still a thing. Oh, it still works. Yep. Okay.
I didn't even know I didn't know Pilates was based on a person who created Pilates. His name was Joseph Pilates. I thought Pilates was the same thing as the name yoga.
Never knew that. You learn something new every day.
Yeah, same. I'm I need to be doing some research. Who's this Joe Pilates? Who's this Joe Schmo Pilates?
Joe Schmo Pilates.
I got to figure this out. So I need to do some research.
But
anyway, I'm enjoying it. I've never done it's reformer, so it's on the machine, if you will.
Oh wow. Which is intense.
Yeah, but it makes it really fun because you're always switching or changing something, or they're always making the workout starts at level 1 and then you go into level 2 and it's a level 3 and it starts with just pushing out on the bar and you're gliding backwards, and then it's okay, instead of pushing with the heel, now you're going to push with the center of your foot, and that works a different part of your body. Okay, now you're going to push with your toes and that works a different part of your body, and it's you're constantly progressing through a move. And it gets a little bit more challenging, but then right when it's oh, this is too challenging, you move into something totally different.
Wow, that's really cool.
You're always moving around. It's a full body workout, so I'm getting arms, abs, legs, the whole body is always getting worked out. There's some classes that are more a stretch class, and then there's some that's more intense and you're you're shaking on the thing. But what's really cool is you're putting the straps on your feet and then you're bringing them forward or bringing them around and you're just doing that. But then you're using your arms.
Wow.
And you're doing a tricep thing and you're gliding on the machine, which is really fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. So yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I look like a turtle that is on its shell when I'm trying to get off the machine, truly. It's not cute.
Okay.
But I am enjoying it and it goes by really quick, which is good.
Okay. How long is it?
50 minutes.
Oh, that's a nice class. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good class, 50 minutes. And I've been going every day. Yeah. And today is my 5th day.
What? Wow. Yes. That's awesome.
Yes. So I feel really good. Yeah. And I'm in my mind, I'm really just there to feel good in my body, feel strong, feel centered and connected to my body. I'm not really I want to lose weight or I want to look a certain way. Those would all be obvious benefits,
byproducts.
But byproducts. I prefer that word, byproducts. But really, I just kind of want to get like moving again
Yeah.
and see what that does. So
I
I feel
love
good.
that. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. I hear about
Yeah.
these Pilates classes and I've never gotten on one of these machines, but I
No, it's
see
my first
them
time.
and they look crazy.
They
So
do. They look like a torture device. It does.
absolutely.
It looks like a torture device.
It
And then it's
does.
like you get on it and you like I like am I've like I'm learning like okay like how does it work, where do you put things, there's like
Mhm.
different pulleys and bells like and weights and
And how many people
it,
are in each class?
I want to say there's a max of 12 or
Okay.
14.
So it's kind of intimate.
Yeah, no, it really is. And the
Okay.
instructor's not also working out with you. Like the instructor
Mm.
is like walking the
There to
room
guide you through
and
the
like guiding you and adjusting you and
form.
being like, "Oh no, put your heels here, like do this." Like it's not like a cycle class where they're up at the front
Yeah.
modeling.
Okay.
And that's what's also really nice is it's so individualistic. I'm not looking at anybody else. I'm so focused on like
How am
hearing
I
what they're
using
saying
this?
and
Yeah.
doing the thing myself.
Right, right.
And the reason why I wanted to go to this studio, one, it was a new studio that was opening. They're offering a deal,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't have just gone if it was any studio. I was doing the research, and all of their visuals on their website, all the pictures were very inclusive.
Mm.
Age, body type, nationality, background, etc. Like it was
Yeah.
just very diverse.
Okay.
And every class I've been in has been extremely diverse,
Nice.
age wise, body style, like you know, Asian, black, white, like as the gamut, like Spanish, like everybody's there,
Mhm.
and also the instructors are also diverse
Okay.
because a lot of times you just get like skinny blonde white women, and it's just like
Absolutely.
that's just no thanks.
Yeah.
Um, like you got it, sweetie. Come on, mama. Like that's not
Wow.
for me. I'm so sorry. There's a whole SNL skit about it, about
Really?
like white women in Pilates and like the way that
Oh,
Pilates instructors talk. Like you've got this, mama. Like
it's
um
giving corn.
yeah. So the
Ew.
instructors are also like all different backgrounds and different body types, which I
Mm.
really like to see. I love to see different body types teaching classes because I think it helps give everybody like an understanding that like if you do this and you teach it and you're a regular at it, it does not mean that you always look like
Like this. Mhm.
this. It means that like everybody can do this and everybody can be an expert at this and it doesn't necessarily mean that your body is going to look a certain way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I'm feeling good about it. Um I'm not so sore that I can't move, but I am sore. I can
Okay.
feel myself being sore.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get back to my like I try to do 10,000 steps a day.
Yes.
But I'm just trying to find and I'm acclimating because I was traveling, so my body's a little bit off. So
Mhm.
I'm what I would like to do is have the structure that I had before I kind of went on a vacation
Yeah.
of wake up, go for my walk, come home, like my skincare routine, like do my routines and everything. And
And
now I'm trying to
add.
incorporate Pilates into that.
Absolutely.
So I'm taking classes at different times of day. I'm taking classes with different instructors just to kind of like
Get the
find what
feel.
time of the day does this work best for me?
Mhm.
How can I get everything in my day and incorporate this? So right now, I mean it's the first week, so I'm in a trial period of just how do I incorporate this into my life in a way
Yeah.
that like isn't disruptive.
I
So,
love it. You know, and it's
yeah,
it's crazy that we haven't spoken about fitness on one of these
I
episodes. So
know.
I'm so excited that you're doing this. I absolutely love it. Pilates is fun.
Yeah.
I've like I said, I've never done the machines, but I do enjoy like I don't know what you call that, mat Pilates, I guess.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy that. So, and it's funny you mentioned how to incorporate Pilates now into your existing routine that you have.
Yeah.
You know, your steps when you go to walk Olive and the whole thing. Because I was talking about that this morning. I went for a walk, and honestly, the past 2 weeks, because of everything that was going on, I haven't been going to the gym. I've gotten my
Mm.
steps in, but there was just a lot of madness going on. So I wasn't as intentional about it as I wanted to be, per se, or
Mhm.
as I normally am, I should say. So yesterday I was just like, all right, I'm gonna like reignite my thing because it's been like 2 weeks where I haven't gone to the gym.
Okay.
So I was like, let me figure out, and in the past month or so, I was really more intentional about steps, making sure I got at least 8 to 10,000 steps. I would
Yeah.
do like a circuit training workout, here and there. But I was like, I'd like to get back to incorporating my cardio. And that for me is normally walking on the treadmill or walking outside and then doing like a strength training workout.
Mm.
So yesterday started that new kind of journey. So I did my 25 minutes of walking and then I focused on shoulders, chest, and triceps. And I was like,
Okay.
oh, I love this. This feels great. I am sore today.
Oh.
Hello. And it hurts so good. It's amazing. So I was just like, all right. So because normally on a normal basis, aside from these past 2 weeks, I'm at the gym like 4 to 5 days a week. And one of those days has to be like a recovery day, which is like yoga or something.
Yeah.
We have Pilates at the gym that I go to, but the timing doesn't really work for me on
Okay.
the times that they offer it. But I love making sure that one of those days is more of like a calm, meditative type of thing,
Yeah.
instead of just like hardcore like iron.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in this process now where I'm just like strength plus cardio 4 days out of the week, and the other 3 days. And when I say strength plus cardio, that also automatically includes the 8 to 10,000 steps. But then
Yeah.
those other 3 days, just moving, making sure I get my step count, however that comes. If I'm walking around the
Mm.
neighborhood or just through my house at the grocery store or whatever. So yeah, yes,
Yeah.
girl. Tell
Steps
me
count
more about Pilates.
everywhere.
No, they count everywhere. And when
Yeah.
you don't wear your watch, they don't count. So
I count I like going to Costco is
mm,
always a really good one because it's such a big
it's a
place that
huge
you get a lot
warehouse.
of steps.
Absolutely. You get a lot of steps.
You get a lot of air conditioned steps, which is nice
Yes. Right. Right.
because I understand. I used like mall walking. People do mall walking.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? I don't understand mall walking. And then I'm like walking in Costco, like, oh, thank God it's air conditioned in here.
Yes.
I'm like, I get it. I'm gonna go
The
stand in the
mall
fridge
is,
for a little while.
yeah, legit. The mall is so good for that too. Like if you going shopping and you're like around
Yeah,
outlets or, you're good. You're going to get mad
yeah.
steps. So,
Get all your steps in. So
yeah.
yeah, I also try to like get to that 8, 10,000 step
Mm-hmm.
area. It's tough, it's
Yeah.
tough because,
Especially working
especially
from
like
home
from home.
and you don't live in
Yeah,
New
it's
York
tough. Oh, I mean, living in New York, it was like
or in any like metro city where it's like
very
public
simple. It was
transportation.
very easy to get steps. But now it's like, I mean, here even I don't even drive my car every day,
Yeah.
because where was I going? But now that I'm doing Pilates,
Where was I going?
well, also it's like every time you leave your house, you spend like $20. So I'm just very like conscious of like
Mm-hmm.
I don't go get coffees anymore. I
Yeah.
don't like go get my nails done anymore. Like I get my
Mm-hmm.
pedicures because I can't reach my toes in a comfortable way. Pedicures are they're a service to me and you. It's like
Yes.
we like
Yes.
that's good for the world.
It's good for everyone.
That should be included in like HSA money or something.
It
Like you
should.
should like
That's something we can fight for.
yeah.
We're going to have a petition.
I
So,
have a platform. Every woman gets free pedicure. Honestly,
for
every
life.
person should get free pedicures. Every
Seriously.
person should because
Let's
jacked
not
toes,
gender.
messed up feet is like, I mean, you know, it's a precursor to not being able to function in society. If your feet get jacked up, then you can't get
Oh,
around,
man.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a good look. So
No.
I love those
Agreed.
videos on TikTok of like foot doctor TikToks where they're always like fixing people's messed up feet. I love
Oh.
it.
Oh, I
Well,
don't
because
want to
I
see
had
it.
feet issues when I was a kid. Did I ever tell you about this?
No.
Oh my God,
What?
really? Oh my God, girl. I used to get ingrown toenails
Oh.
so bad. It usually was the result of someone like stepping on my foot. So if
Who was
someone stepped
stepping
on
on
my
your
foot,
feet?
like in school, we'd be like
Interesting.
walking
Okay.
in line or going up, whatever, like just a bunch of
Playing
little feet
outside, right?
everywhere. Yeah, 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 yeah. So at
Oh.
my foot, if my foot got stepped on, I'd often get an ingrown toenail. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if you've ever experienced the feeling of getting a pedicure and then they like cut the edges of the toenail a little bit. What just dropped?
I don't know.
Oh, there it is. If you get a pedicure, And when, they file the nail, they cut the nail, but sometimes they will cut the sides of the nail,
Mm-hmm.
like the little edges, instead of it being completely square, they'll cut the edges.
Yeah.
When that grows out, it pushes on your skin a little bit. And
Oh.
sometimes like your toe will get sensitive. It'll feel a little sensitive.
Huh.
Mine does still to this day. So
Really?
I was getting a ton of ingrown toenails. I was going to Dr. Gross,
Okay.
the foot doctor.
Of course, that's his name.
Yeah, like an old school doctor in my
Mm-hmm.
town. My mom and I'd have to like get my foot soaked, and then he'd have to do like the numbing injection, and then he'd have to like cut some of the nail off
What?
because
And how old were
from
you?
the I'm like 9, 10, 11,
Oh, little
like
Ellyn.
little. Yeah, so I was always having little foot surgeries. And then we found
I don't mean
a
to laugh at
guy,
her.
a much better foot doctor who used laser.
Mm.
So the foot doctor was always like cutting out like a little part of, if I could explain it, like my nail was maybe too
It
wide
was
for
too
my toe,
wide.
and so I was getting a lot of like
That's
ingrowns.
why.
But he would cut like a bit of it here and thin it out when it was numb, but that means it was always growing back.
Yeah.
So we finally were able to, with the advancement of technology, go to a podiatrist that used lasers,
Okay.
and used a laser to trim the width of my toenail. So one of my, like my big toe on my right side is actually like not
It's more
noticeably to
narrow.
me, but it's more narrow, and
Huh.
helped get rid of that problem, and did it on both sides of my toe,
I'm gonna
on
be
both
looking
feet.
next time.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you.
What? Wow.
Yeah, and yeah, I always had little medical issues growing up. And yeah, no, when I had
Little
to go to the
medical
foot
issues.
doctor, it was a whole thing. It was
Well,
a whole thing.
in that
Oh,
vein, I used to have so I don't know if you were there that time, but when we had remember in Red Caps, like when we would meet in Conover in like the great room or whatever it was called, and
yeah.
we did those round things where it was like everyone's kind of getting to know each other and you have to tell like a fun fact about yourself and blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's where Ellen with a Y started.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So I
I had to
my
introduce myself
little
with a Y
oh
so people
oh
could find me on Facebook.
look at that because you won't find me if you find
No, if you
Ellen.
search Ellen, I'm not going to come up.
That wasn't it. But my little fun fact at one of those one year was that I had nose surgery. And I guess I made more of it than it actually was. It wasn't necessarily nose surgery, but I used to get a lot of nosebleeds when I was
Oh,
younger.
yeah.
So in this one particular instance, like I don't know if you've ever had a nosebleed and people tell you like, oh, like hold the bridge of your nose and tilt your head back, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I used to do all the times when I would get a nosebleed. But on this particular occasion, I tilted my head back, and next thing you knew, I was crying blood. And my mom and my aunt were going crazy. So obviously, they were like, oh my God, she's dying. Like, what's happening?
Oh
I'm a
my
child. I'm
God.
like eight,
Yeah, yeah,
nine,
yeah.
right? So we go to the doctor, whatever. What happened was when you tilt your head back, like the blood had a chance of getting through your tear duct.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that's when it
I've heard
was
now that's, you're not
you're
supposed to
not
do
supposed to
that.
do that. I learned
Yeah.
the hard way. But
Mm.
because of that and because of like the frequent nosebleeds, I had to get my nose cauterized. Cauterized, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they like burned a vessel and all this. Now
Yeah.
to me at like 9, it was surgery. Because I was just like, whoa, my
I was like, did you have like a rhinoplasty or something? No, you had your nose was cauterized.
my
I've
nose was
had my
cauterized.
nose
A vessel.
cauterized.
But those
I
things
had
are
my nose
long. The
cauterized.
Q-tip or whatever they put is like this long.
Oh,
It was crazy.
is that the
So
extent of your like medical procedures? Come on,
I
that's
mean,
nothing.
I had asthma and I was hospitalized when I was younger.
Oh, that's
And
stressful.
but I was like a baby. I don't even remember. I was
Oh,
like 2, you know. But I did
yeah.
have asthma. Like I had childhood asthma. I've since grown out of it, but
Did you have an inhaler?
I sure did. And I had the thing
I
that you had to
used to
blow
want to
in.
try it.
Oh, you didn't have asthma, so there was this other
No.
thing that you would. It was like a game. They gamified the whole process.
Yeah.
But I had an inhaler. But there was also this thing, like if I was wheezing or something, my parents would be like, "Okay,
Yeah.
take this little thing. It was clear, and you have to blow into it." And it was like a like a ruler almost, it looks like.
Yeah.
And wherever it goes, it tells you like, okay, like something's wrong. I don't know, her lungs,
Yeah, it's
blah blah
just
blah.
it's like your lung capacity or your oxygen's not good.
Yeah, so I used to
Was
have
it a
to
little
like,
ball that would go up?
it was like it wasn't a ball, but it was like a lever that pushed
Oh,
up.
yeah.
So it would actually like go
Okay.
to, the level, the little
Yeah.
notch. But
That's so wild. Yeah,
that's
no.
that's all I
Childhood
remember.
asthma is like real.
It
So many
is.
kids had. I always wanted to take a hit of somebody's like
I
inhaler.
didn't mind my
Sharing
inhaler.
it or
No,
using it?
ew, no. I'm way
I was
too
gonna
like
say. Well,
I'm
that's why
way
I've
too
never done it because
germaphobe
you
for
would.
that.
It's like a really gross thing to share.
No, I was just saying I didn't mind my inhaler. Like it wasn't like, oh, I hate using my inhaler. It was like a breath of fresh air. It was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like weird. There's like very strange things when we're kids, like things we like wouldn't mind or wouldn't like would like.
Mhm.
When we were younger, we used to get these like little water bottles in school that you had to take like the plastic ring off the top.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah.
like with a milk carton, how you have to like pull the plastic piece off so you can keep the flip cap on and off.
Yes, yeah.
So we would put them in our mouths and pretend that they were braces. They're like, I have braces. And then when you actually got braces, you're
You
like,
didn't
what an
want them.
idiot.
Exactly.
Yeah, what an
But now
idiot.
today kids love braces. It's like a thing.
Do that real braces?
Yes, they love it. When I had braces, I
Why?
had to have braces, and
Yeah,
I didn't
same.
want
Not that
anyone
you
to
could tell by
know.
my bottom teeth.
Girl, don't
They're
even
so
talk about it.
jacked. My top's good.
But you wouldn't even like know that I had brace. Well, you would, but I got the clear ones, like the
Oh,
clear
you did?
brackets.
Those are
Yes,
fancy. Those were more
because I was just like,
expensive.
I don't want silver
How old were you when you
things.
got braces?
It was right before high school is when I got them taken out. So I don't know, like
Oh, okay.
11, 12.
Yeah, that's a similar age. I had them
Yeah.
like in grade school.
Yeah. I think it was like
And then I
6th to
just
8th grade or something like
didn't wear
that.
my retainer.
Girl, that's a thing. They don't
I
tell
don't
you.
think
They
you should
did
get
say
braces so young because you don't
because of
understand the
that.
implications of not wearing a retainer.
True.
I think that if you get them a little bit older, unfortunately, it's going to be like embarrassing when you're in high school. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, you'll at least have the mental awareness of like
I need to wear my
forethought.
retainer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
But
I
oh,
I
they
didn't wear
hurt
my
when they went
retainer
on.
as much.
No.
But I had a lot of like dental stuff that
You're talking
braces.
to the queen.
Oh
You're
yes, that's
talking to
right.
the queen.
See,
Dental,
that was me
please.
years ago though. So like I
Mm-mm.
had to go to 3 different dentists because I was so sensitive to people like being in my mouth. I did not like it. So I went to my parents' dentist. I'm not going to say their names. But this first guy, he was awful. He was like so rough or whatever. I kept
Oh,
moving. I didn't like him. He didn't like me. And he just kind of like wiped his hands with me, told my parents, like, listen, I can't deal with her. Like, da da da.
oh my
So
God.
then I went to a specialist. Loved her. Absolutely. I love her to this day. Dr. Sipes. Her name I will say. And I went to her for years. Then when it was time for me to get braces, they were like starting the process there because they also had like orthodontry. I don't know what you call that.
Yeah, orthodontia.
Orthodontia. That's right.
Orthodontics.
TIA. So went there. But when it was time for them to put the braces in, she was like, okay, she's going to need to go to a specialist. We love her. We'll do her cleanings, but she needs to go to somebody else.
Really?
Yes. So then she was my, general dentist. And then I had to go to another like specialist for orthodontia because they were very like gentle and calm and dealt with
Mm.
little kids like me who just had a problem with people in their mouths. Dr.
Oh my
Ratoli.
gosh.
So
So
I
you
had
never
like,
got to pick like
I
colorful
did
rubber
though.
bands? Oh, you
I
did?
had the brackets. I didn't have like Invisalign. I had the
No, but you had
brackets.
clear braces.
Yeah, but they were clear brackets. So you still had to put the rubber bands on it. You could put the rubber band, but
Yeah, but
I
then what's the
chose
point?
clear.
Oh, you chose
I
clear
chose
rubber
clear.
bands too.
Yeah. I think I only
I was
did
going to say, what's the point of
colors
clear braces
if you're going to
if
put
you're
the
going to
color.
get
But that's
colorful
still cool
bands?
though, because then you just
Yeah, it
have
does look
like,
cool.
circle red dots or whatever on your teeth.
Yeah, well, now kids are putting like diamond gems on their teeth and like, it's a whole
It's a
thing. I mean,
thing.
truly, I understand that people are doing that like right here, like a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
gem or something. I get it. It
I get it.
does often look like there's something in your teeth.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You
Because
know?
I'm just
Like,
looking for
imagine if I
purely
just had
white.
2, like, gems right
I'd
here.
be
Just
like, "Girl,
like
did you have broccoli?" Oh.
it's like, I get it. Maybe if you put it on this one or this
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's not it's like, when you start to realize you're like, I'm a little bit older.
Not for me, but
Not for me.
to
Yeah.
each her and
There's
his
the
own.
there's the trend of have you heard the trend of millennial socks?
No, what's that?
How can you know if someone's a millennial is to check their socks. If
Oh.
your socks are super like low, like no show ankle socks in your sneakers,
Uh-huh.
millennial. But if you have like mid calf, quarter calf kind of socks,
Uh-huh.
Gen Z. I'm
Okay.
like,
Wow.
yeah, because remember, like showing socks was like lame when we were
Yes, it was
younger. Like
so
everyone
lame.
had ankle socks.
But the reason why is
Everyone had
because we
ankle
didn't
socks
have
with like
fun socks.
no, we had ankle socks with our Nikes or our Fat Farms, and it was like the whole concept was like really low socks and just like the
Yes.
big chunky white shoe. In my Fat Farms, I thought I was so
I
cool.
completely forgot about Fat Farm.
Oh my god,
Wow.
I love my Fat Farms. I was a big Russell Simmons family,
Baby fat.
Kimura, baby. Yeah, I was big into that because they were from the broader area of where I grew up.
Mm.
So then there was like Run's House. Do you remember the show
Oh,
Run's
yes.
House?
Yes.
I loved that show.
With
They grew up not
Angela and
far. Yeah, they grew up not far from me. And then when they would go to
ah,
the mall, that was my mall.
really?
Yes, it was like
What?
precursor to like New Jersey Housewives. Like they were happening
Okay.
before the
Yeah,
Housewives.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Was there a
so
New Jersey
it was very
Housewives?
exciting. It was very exciting. Aja,
What was there? I really don't know.
girl, yes, literally,
Really?
literally like the beginning of Housewives. It was like Beverly. No, it was Orange County, New York, Beverly Hills, and New Jersey were like the premiere. And
Oh.
truly, New Jersey put the Housewives really on the map because Teresa Giudice, like first season, flipped a table at a restaurant and like lost her mind. And that became like
Oh,
a whole
reality
thing.
TV. I
It
only
was the
watched
beginning.
RHOA, Real Housewives of Atlanta. That was the only one that I ever watched.
Oh,
I never saw any of the others, so I just don't know.
yeah, I never watched a
Loved
ton of it. I did
Real
watch that because I
Housewives of
like
Atlanta.
Nene Leakes.
Oh my gosh,
And
Nene and Candy. I
what's the
love
other
Candy.
one? Oh, Candy's a good one. What's the other one? She used to call
Phaedra
her.
or
She wanted to be a mortician.
and
She was in
she
school to be a
was.
mortician,
And
and then
she
her
was
husband was like in jail or
a
something.
criminal.
She was pregnant for like 10 or 12 months for some reason, or for
Not
only for
10 or
2 months.
12.
Like her pregnancy was like it didn't line up with when her husband went to jail or something, and so there was like a
Yeah.
whole thing. She's like, "Yeah, I've been pregnant for a little while." They're like, "Well, how long? Like
Whose
how
child is
long?"
this?
Yeah, it was like a whole thing. Oh yeah, the
Wait, but what's
housewives
the other
are
one? I think I know who you're talking about. The one who was like a model.
Kim.
Kim?
No, I'm talking
Oh,
OG. I'm
Kim.
talking first season.
Kim.
Yeah,
Don't be
yeah.
tardy for the
For
party.
the party.
Hey.
Yeah. Don't be
Tardy
tardy for
for the
the party.
party.
She's in a mess now. Her and her husband are
She's
divorcing.
oh,
She's
the
like
guy?
on a reality show.
The
It's a
football player?
mess. Yeah, a mess,
Oh,
mess,
dang,
mess.
Kim.
Big time mess.
Oh,
Her
wow.
daughters like look like little mini me's of her. They're
Okay, that makes sense.
so injected. There's so much
Oh.
happening. Yeah, there's a lot happening there.
Oh, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
RHOA. I
Ooh, New
used to love
Jersey.
that show. It was so
I'm
ratchet,
trying to
but I freaking loved it, okay?
I mean, I love all the housewives. I think so. You know what I just watched this winter, which I'm so silly not to have done a watch along because I
What?
never watched it before, was Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Hmm.
And it was truly some of the best housewifing I've seen. It's
Really?
such
Who
a
are they? Like
interest
housewives of who? Who are their
they're all
husbands or
just
whoever?
they're not any nobodies. They're like the husbands are not even relevant.
Nobody.
Truly. They're complete irrelevant. Some of them aren't
Okay.
even married, some of them are divorced, but it's the Mormonism that's interesting
What?
because it's Salt Lake City. So you're getting a real firsthand look into like what Mormonism, a lot of like
Oh.
people who are still Mormon, not Mormon, why did they leave the Mormon religion? like how do you justify being a Mormon when they're like X, Y,
What?
and Z? Yeah. And then there's
Okay.
Pentecostal. There's a woman who runs I think a Pentecostal church.
Okay.
Um, and then there's someone who's Jewish and someone who's
Oof.
Catholic. Like it's like a very like religion is a big part of the show. Like they talk about their like Christianity or they
Interesting.
talk about their like religion or they talk about God or what
Uh-huh.
have you.
But they're
Different
still out
backgrounds. It's a
here being real
oh,
housewives.
one of them was Muslim as well. So it's like, oh, but then one person got like arrested for like embezzling and stealing money and had to go to jail. Yeah, it's
Too much tea.
insane. In
Okay.
4 seasons, it was insane. Like it was insane. I
Oof.
should have done a watch along. I was like live texting my friends while I was watching it,
Yeah.
and they're like, "You don't even know. Just wait." Da, da, da,
Just
da.
wait.
Yeah. There's this like whole yeah, it's a
Wow.
whole thing. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that
I
one
enjoyed the
thoroughly.
ratchetry.
Yeah. There's this one woman who she's like the head of her own church, but she's more like she is like there's pictures of her and her family on the walls of the church. Like she's not just a pastor, she is the religion.
Oh
She is
no.
like the conduit to God in this
Mm.
uh
Mm-mm.
what do we call
Mm-mm.
it? What do you call like a church of the people who go to a church?
Congregation?
Yes, in the congregation,
Mm-hmm.
she is like the direct connection to the Lord. And she's extremely rich. And then a lot of people are like, well, where's all the money coming from? Like, where's all the money for the church going?
Oh
And
no.
then also like a bit of a hoarder. So, like, you go in her house and it's like,
Oh, this is all over the
it's
place.
nuts. But she also says things. Aja, she says the most insane stuff to people to
Mm-hmm.
their face. She's just like, yeah, you look inbred. What? Like, we're like, well, that's not very Christian of you. And she's like,
Wow.
it's what I believe. It's a truth. What is not Christian about that? Like, it's
Oh
like that kind. It's nuts.
no.
They call her Mary Cosby. She's married to her grandmother's ex husband,
What?
who was not blood related to her. He was her grandmother's
Oh,
like
he was
second
her
husband.
step. Okay, I got you. But still.
Yeah, so that's like a whole fucking thing. Like, yeah,
Child.
it's nuts.
Oh
Like Aja,
no.
nuts. Like
Say it one more
literally,
time.
they kill nuts. You know how they go on like group dinners or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah. Always.
She'll be like they'll be in the Sprinter van. They'll like go to the group dinner. She's like, I'm not going to this place. Can you just take me to McDonald's? And they're having the group dinner with the
Yeah,
lights and the camera and the
of
action and the
course.
drama, and then they always cut back to her in the Sprinter
In the
van
sprinter.
eating chicken nuggets.
She's like, I don't have time for this.
She's like, I'm not gonna go sit with these women. I don't even
I
like
don't
half
even
of
like
them.
them.
No,
Right,
it's
right.
literally, but she's so insane and says such crazy shit.
She
And like
makes
her
the
life,
show.
the fact that she lets you see like some of the stuff that's happening in her life, like,
Mm,
yeah, they just
a
are like,
legit
anytime
train
Mary
wreck.
wants to be on the show, she's like, they're like, sure. And all the women are like, she's emotionally abusive. And they're like, who cares? She says crazy stuff at the
Ratings.
reunion.
Right, right. Oh, the
Yeah. Oh my God.
reunions. Oh my
Oh,
gosh. I was that was
love
like
a
a whole
reunion.
era, like reality TV and in college, like Flavor of Love. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
What?
him.
I
I
love New
loved that
York.
show. Ranch chicken,
No.
ranch dressing, and vodka. My two favorite things. We used to quote that all the time in college. She is so
I
quotable.
love Tiffany. Where is
Ranch
that
dressing
woman?
and vodka. She
She
was
was
just on a reality
crazy.
show. I forget what she was on. She was nuts. You know, Flavor Flav is like
Oh
backing
boy.
the United States women's water polo team.
What do you mean backing? Like he's an investor or something?
He's like an investor. He's like funding them
For the Olympics?
for just in general, just like
Oh,
make sure that
okay.
they're funded. He's at the
Okay.
Olympics now with them.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
that's
like
good
some
for him.
article. Something happened. Something came out where he was just like they needed funding and like
And he stepped up to the plate.
yeah. Here, look, it's where is it? Oh no, is it? He also says he also said
Flavor
he's
Flav.
gonna save Red Lobster. Yeah.
All
He's
right,
saving Red
please do,
Lobster,
because we love the biscuits.
and then also he signs a 5-year sponsorship deal as official hype man for the USA women's water polo team.
Oh, he's the hype man. He would be. It's the most
I
random
want to be the
thing.
hype person.
So,
I want to be the
girl.
hype person. Oh, I
Wait.
love the Olympics. I can't
Speaking
wait.
of the Olympics, did you know? I don't know if I told you this, but when I was in college, I sang the national anthem a lot for like the basketball games.
Yeah.
But then I also was like the manager for the girls basketball team.
You
For
were?
I was
I didn't know
wild.
that.
Yeah, right? So, anyway, I was at the gym some weeks ago, more than a month ago, I guess. And um they had this statement because everything about Caitlin Clark, they were like, she's not on the Olympic team, blah blah blah. And so this person gives a statement and they were like, we chose players based solely on, like their performance or whatever. That's what's most important about, the Olympic Games, da da da.
Yeah.
For us to do otherwise would be irresponsible, blah, blah, blah. So when they show the name, I was like, that name sounds super familiar. And they bring up a picture, and it is legit the head coach who was the head coach of the time of the women's basketball team. She's the head coach of the Olympics, Jen Rosati. I was like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know that name. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah. I
she's
remember.
the head
Well,
coach of the
I
Olympics.
remember that Hartford's women's basketball team was actually
Oh,
competitive.
we were top tier. We were
Yeah, yeah,
D1
yeah.
at that time, okay?
Yeah.
Don't get it
At that
twisted. At
time.
this current date, University of Hartford is not
It's
D1.
like a D3 school.
Yeah, unfortunate. But
Yeah.
we like really dominated. So I
Oh
was
yeah,
so
women's basketball was
excited.
it.
I'm
I
like,
couldn't
that's
stand the men's
amazing.
basketball team.
They
They were
just didn't
so
really do anything.
they
But
were horrible and they had
sorry to those
such
men, but
sorry to this man. I wouldn't know you in the
wouldn't
street.
know you in the street,
Um
but I know the girls basketball
the
players.
girls team for sure. Yeah, she was big time. That's
Yeah.
awesome. She's going to go
She's
with
the
this to the
head coach
Olympics.
of the Olympics for the
Oh, good
women's
for
basketball. I was
her.
like, that's so amazing. And that reminds me, I needed to reach out to some of like the assistant coaches and stuff. Like I still talk to them from time to time now. And I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
that's so amazing.
You're so good
Um,
at staying in touch with people.
I mean, I try. I wouldn't say I could always do very much. I could do better.
It's
But
like I feel like something I really want to aspire to be better at is staying in touch with people and like
yeah.
and sending birthday cards. I would love to send birthday cards.
Ellen, do it.
What?
So check this out. I love that you said that. So I was at home this past week and my mom, she's bless her heart. She's always like sending out these donations to the Native American Children of America and the Shriners and St. Jude's. Like she's always like, oh, I'll send, money here and I'll send money there. So
Yeah.
in exchange for her donations, they give her like little notepads with her name on it. But they also give her these cards that are like greeting cards that you can send with the
Yeah.
matching envelopes and the matching stickers and
Oh, yes,
addressee
yes, yes.
labels and stuff like that.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes. I got
So
mine from the American Red Cross when I donated blood.
of course. See? So when I was at home, she was like, I forget what it was. Oh, we were sending cards to family members for a thing. And she was like, you know what? I have all of these like greeting cards. And I love cards. Like personally, if you give me a card, it's not getting thrown away. Like I
Yeah.
keep them, especially if people write notes because that's what I do. I
Yeah.
like to write
I keep the
notes in
ones
my
where people write
cards.
nice notes in them.
Exactly, for sure. So she gave me like a stack of these beautiful cards because, by the way,
Mm.
greeting cards are freaking expensive.
Yeah.
It's getting out of hand. Okay. They're like $8 a
Yeah.
pop now. But I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And I was like, I can like send thinking of you cards or whatever. And that got me so hyped. Like, I love sending birthday
Um,
cards and I want to do that too. Like, I want to send you a birthday card on your birthday. Cause you don't,
yeah.
who are you getting a card
You
from?
don't
Your
get you don't
parents
get
and your
cards
grandma,
anymore.
you know?
Nobody gets you never get a card anymore. Yeah, I just
No,
get cards from my parents and my grandparent and my grandmother, my
exactly.
nonni.
I'll never
I
forget
agree.
when I'm sorry to cut you off, but
No.
RJ sent me a birthday card one time, and it was like a little cute little card, and I think it had like a Beyonce line on
Mm,
it, and I was like, "This is so sweet," because friends don't send friends cards, not today. So
Tess sent me a card
Yeah.
um
She does that too.
a long time ago
Yeah.
during pre-pandemic maybe. It was like she said this is going to be your first piece of fan mail because of
Oh.
Ellyn with a Y, because I was
Oh,
using her
yes.
music with
That's
her
right.
approval. I used her song as my intro,
Yeah.
Choosing Happy,
Uh-huh.
which I love that song. And yeah, she sent me like a very
I
sweet
love that.
little a card with
Yeah.
very sweet words in it. I
Yes.
definitely saved that.
Right. Exactly. And they mean
Yeah, my
so
Aunt Grace is
much.
so sweet. She sends me like sometimes she sent me like care packages.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Definitely when I was in college, when I first moved to New York, she sent me like a little care package. When I moved out here, she sent me something around Halloween, like just very like
Oh.
it's like I think people don't think what else did she send me? She sent me something
When
and
you
she was
were
worried it was going to
sick
get
during
broken.
COVID.
Oh
Oh.
yeah, I think she sent me something during COVID too. Oh yeah, she did. She
The
sent me
puzzles and stuff, the
yeah, puzzles and
games.
paint and stuff. Yeah, which I did. I very much did.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There
Very
was
much.
something she sent me here that she was worried about getting bent. Oh, it was a coloring. It was a coloring book. That is it. Where is it? Oh, you know what? It's behind me. Is it
Okay.
behind me? Oh, it's in my drawer behind me. She sent me a coloring book, um, with curse words. It was a cursing coloring book.
I love
She's like, I
that.
didn't want it to bend, so she sent me like all this other stuff with it. It was so sweet. But it's
Yeah.
like when people are thoughtful and send things like
Mhm.
even just a letter, even just like a note card, like a
Yes.
note. It's
Yeah.
like the idea is just so nice
Mhm.
to do, and it's like because it's so not something that happens anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we should bring that
We should
back. I
bring
want to
that
do that.
back. Right. Cuz now you're sending text messages or DMs or
Mm-hmm.
nice posts and the words are still, touching and we appreciate, but like when you get something tangible, it's such like a lost art form and stationery, and I love stuff like that because I love,
Yeah,
that old school type of like I love a card. I love a
I
letter.
know. I would
I
love
love
nothing
that.
more than to open up my mailbox and it not be a bill
Hello
or just junk.
or junk. Oh my
And it's
gosh.
like, how is it? How am I still getting bills? I've turned everything into paperless. Why am I still getting shit in the mail?
Because they're slow and
That's not my fault. I opted for paperless.
their systems are not up to date as they should be. Because I
Truly,
opted for paperless months ago.
truly,
I've found that too.
truly.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, and then the whole mail system, like
Girl.
here, my mailbox got broken into. Um,
Like your particular mailbox or like the
yeah, so we have
apartment
like
complex?
the apartment complex like thing of mail. Like in my building, there's like a block of like 15.
Okay.
And it was broken into and we didn't know, and then it got broken into again and we did know,
What?
and I got like a notice that had been broken into like 8 months prior, and my mail was found in some man's house and they were doing an investigation on him and then they found my mail. It was
What?
like a whole thing.
Oh my
But this
gosh.
most oh my god, don't even get me started. So which I am started, here I
Here
go.
you are.
So
I'm started, ready to
I'm
go.
started. So anyway, I look at my credit card statement back in like January,
Mm-hmm.
February, first week of February, and I was like, that is way more money than I have been
Actually
spending,
spent. Yeah.
And I go and I look and I'm like, I haven't been there, and I haven't been there, and I haven't been there, and I haven't been
Oh
there.
no.
That's the gas. I don't go to that gas place, and I haven't been to that sushi restaurant, and da da da. And it turns out that
Oh
they
my
broke
gosh.
into the mailbox in December when the credit card company had sent me a new credit card because my credit card was expiring. The expiration date was coming up.
Yeah.
And I contacted my credit card company in December saying, "Hey, I never got
The new
my
card.
the new card. Can you send it?" And they said, "Oh yeah, for sure. We'll send you one." They never said, "Oh, we already sent one." They never said, "Oh, it's an automatic thing. You should have gotten one." Nothing. So I had
Wow.
no way of knowing that there had already been one sent.
Yeah.
So I get the new credit card, I activate it, and these people had the credit card
Mm-hmm.
and basically waited to see if I would activate it. I activated my credit card, and then they must have been checking every day
But they gave you the
and were.
same number.
Don't you think
What?
that the credit card company should have been
Every
like,
time you issue a
"Oh,
new
well, we
card, it's a new
already sent
number.
you a credit card,
Exactly.
so No, something happened. I don't know what happened on the credit card company's end, but nobody
Wow.
was aware that a credit card had already been sent out.
Ugh.
So I get the credit card, I turn it on, I start my spending on this new credit card. These people start their spending on the credit card. And
Wow.
it wasn't until I was like looking at my
Statement.
monthly to be like, huh? And
Mm-mm.
I hadn't, and my fault is I didn't have my like text messages turned on for like
To
every time you spend, you
approve.
get a text
Yeah,
message
yeah,
to show you what being spent.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, which I have that on now.
We
Um,
live and we learn.
and yeah, and so then I had to go line by line for over 2 grand.
Oh
25
no.
hundred was spent on my credit card,
Oh my
and I had to get a new
gosh.
credit card issued. It
Yeah,
was a whole
of
thing.
course.
Then, because our mailboxes had been broken into, I had to go to the post office to pick up my mail.
Mm.
So I was going like every 2 weeks because I don't get that much mail. So I was going
Yeah.
every 2 weeks to pick up mail. I'm like, this is a nightmare.
Oh gosh.
It was
That's
so crazy.
crazy.
And they were doing like innocuous spending, like sushi dinner, gas, 7-Eleven, Wendy's. Like there was just some person who was
Just
just
their
like, I'm just going to
pocket
steal this
money.
credit card. I'm just going to steal this credit card. I'm going to use it until it stops being, until I can't use it anymore.
What?
And there's no way to
I can't
like,
stand thieves. That is
but there's no way to
just
like catch someone who does that. It's like, wow, this is really like, and all my money got like, it was like it never happened
yeah, right.
because I have like fraud, you have fraud protection with
Protection. So
credit
they
cards.
just
So I'm like,
refund you the money or whatever that you didn't authorize.
so should we all just be breaking into mailboxes and stealing credit cards? Like this is
Exactly.
not like, I'm sorry, like where is the justice? Where is the retribution?
Right.
I am a Libra Virgo. I crave justice.
Balance the scale.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I was just like,
Right.
what in the Lord above? It's the crazy thing is like you just don't like it's
That's really
there was no
sad.
repercussion.
When people like steal, I just can't. Ugh.
I know. I can't fathom stealing. I walked
Mm-mm.
out of a Harmon Beauty discount with a little compact mirror once when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, Mom, look what I did. And my mom was like, okay, go back in and give it to them. Like,
Right.
say sorry and give it back to them. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, I just like wouldn't steal. I was
Right.
friends with this person when I was a teenager, and she was like a little bit of a shoplifter
Mm.
and picked up a couple
A little
things
bit
when
of a
we were
shock.
together. Yeah, because it wasn't like every time I was with her she was shoplifting.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like it was something she was like experimenting with, and then
Oh.
she did it when I was with her. I think we were at like Kmart,
Mm.
like a Kmart vibe kind of place,
Yeah.
and she got caught while I was with her, and we got brought to the back room,
Oof. Guilty by
and I was
association.
like,
Watch the company you keep.
exactly. I was so
Mortified.
yeah, I was like,
Uh,
thank God all that stuff was in her purse. I'm just
yeah.
here because I'm here and I
Right.
drove, but like, thank God that like I'm the
Oof.
getaway car.
Yeah.
I
Legit.
was I can't even tell you. I was literally going to pee my pants. I was so scared. I was like, what is
I'm sure.
happening?
That's
I'm not a
crazy.
rule breaker. I'm like a big boisterous, like I'm a big personality, I would say.
Yes.
I'm an entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
I am a rule follower. I used
A
to get in trouble a
rule
lot when I was in
follower.
grade school, which we've talked about,
Yes.
like talking out of turn and
Talking.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like that goes under
That's the
the umbrella of
extent.
entertainer.
Of
You know
course.
what I'm saying? Like
That's
I've
big
just been trying to entertain
personality.
from the jump. Yeah.
Exactly.
But this is crime.
Oof. Like legit a crime.
This is
Okay.
jail time. You
This is
know, if you
like
steal enough that
breaking a
you get in
commandment.
real, like truly, you get in trouble. Okay.
Trouble.
Yeah. I
Oof.
was like, oh my God, we're going to die. Yeah.
Oh
We are
man.
no longer friends.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I hope that after that you kind of parted ways because
Oh my God.
who knows what she's
I
doing today.
was
Yikes.
scared. I was scared. Yeah.
Mm.
That's the extent of my rule breaking.
That was
I'm trying
enough,
to
Ellyn. You
think.
did enough.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's ever been any other like I'm just like afraid of the law. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
after my experience with the cop in Kansas City when I was driving cross country in Kansas
Mm.
State, not Kansas City. Um that was a very negative experience with a police officer.
Mhm.
I do feel very like uncomfortable around police.
Oh.
Like the way he spoke to me, the way I was by myself on the side of the road, I just
Mhm.
felt very, very uncomfortable.
Right.
And then since then, I've noticed like I am on guard when I'm near police on the
Mm.
road. I'm like,
Mhm.
no matter, I don't know if I'm doing something illegal. I don't know what I'm like, because they
'Cause
just
they'll
have all these
catch you
fake
for stuff
rules.
that
Yeah, they have
exactly,
fake
that you didn't
stuff.
even
They
know.
have fake things. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They'll be like, oh, you blinked while you went through a red light, and it's like it's involuntary.
Right,
You know what
right,
I mean?
exactly.
Like that man was so evil. He was like, so I was driving on a 2-lane highway. For those of you who don't know this story, because I think I've told you this story
I think
before.
so, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I'm driving through cross country, driving through Kansas. I'm on a 2-lane highway. The speed limit is 70, which I was like, whoa, that's fast. Because in New Jersey, the most we get is
Whoa, that's
65.
fast.
Yeah. No, it was actually, I think it was like 75 or something. And I
Oh,
was doing
yeah, a
like
lot of places,
65.
yeah, especially in the
I
South
was like,
too.
what is this? And you know what it is? It's because everything's so far spread out. If you
You gotta
don't give
get
them a higher
there.
speed, yeah, if you don't get them a higher speed limit, like they're going to
It's
be
gonna
spending
take
most of
all
their life
day.
driving to
Yeah,
the gas station.
right, to town.
Um, yeah, exactly. So I am driving through. This cop is pulled over to the side of the road with a car. No cherry lights, no nothing. Just cop on the side of the road
Mhm.
with the car. And nobody was out of their cars either. And the car in front just turned their hazards off. So I was like,
Mhm.
oh, this is like from where I could see from far away, they just turned their hazards off. I was like, oh, this interaction is
It's
over.
over. Uh-huh.
Yeah, like this guy's going to come out to the road. 2-lane highway going below the speed limit. And I saw the cop in the car and I looked around and I didn't have the instinct to get over because that's not a law in
In Jersey.
Jersey. It's not a mandatory law in New
It's
Jersey. It's like a
suggested.
suggestion.
Yes.
And it was a 2-lane road and there were cars on my left side because
Yeah.
clearly everybody else got over.
Right, right.
So I was like, I couldn't safely slow down and get over or speed up and get over. So I just kind of like slowed down and drove past him at like maybe 60.
Yeah.
The cop pulls out, like clearly was about to pull out, wasn't
Mhm.
looking, and just pulled out like immediately behind me
Oh.
and chased me down onto the side of the road and comes up to my side window and was so attitudinal.
Mm.
Do you can like what you just did is so dangerous. You know how that makes me feel on the side of the road? I'm like, what?
Mm.
What? And he's like, because I'm literally looking around. He's pulling me over. I'm like, what did I do? I'm not speeding. I don't
Right,
have a tail
right.
light. It's nothing. What's wrong? Like I didn't do anything.
Right, right.
It's Olive's in the passenger seat sitting.
Mhm.
My whole car is packed. I have New Jersey license plate, a New York license,
Right.
and I'm in Kansas. And I'm by
She's
myself
lost.
with a dog, and my
Right.
car is packed to the hill.
Mhm.
Where are you going? California. Like that. Like just very like, what you did is illegal. I was like, did what? He's like, you can't drive past an emergency vehicle stopped on the side of the road. You have to get over. I was like, what? That's a law. Like, that's not a law.
Mhm.
And then he's like, it's a law of the United States. And then I was like, oh, okay, I'm dealing with an idiot because there are barely any national laws
National
when it
driving
comes to
laws.
the road. Yeah.
Exactly.
When it comes to the
The
road.
road.
So I go, oh, okay. And he's just like, what did he say? He was just like, yeah, he's like, what that makes me feel like? How scary that is for me. Can you imagine what could happen to me? And I'm just like, okay, sir, with your
Hmm.
very high, tight haircut and your police trooper, highway state trooper,
Right, right.
fresh out of the academy kind of vibes. I'm like, if he was a more seasoned police officer, cop, trooper, whatever,
Yeah.
he would have seen a young woman with her dog in the car,
Traveling with
out of
her
state
whole
license,
house.
out of state. Her whole life is in the car. He would have said, "Oh, you're driving to Cal. Are you driving cross country? You're moving."
Right, right, right.
I feel like I know that there are police officers who would have been like, just for the rest of your trip, you should just
You should
always get
know
over
that.
because you are going through states that you don't know what the laws are. So you should just
Exactly.
always
You need to be
abide
on
by this
caution.
extremely careful, safe law.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I continued on my way, I was looking in
Mm-hmm.
other states, there's like major signs posted, like
Mm.
in like when emergency vehicles stop, like get to the
Get
other side of the
over.
road. But
Yeah.
then there's other states where that's not posted.
Right.
So if it's not posted, it's not a law.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. And also, if their word suggestion is included, what are we talking about? Black and white law? Like, what's law?
Absolutely.
Like,
Right.
law. I was
Law.
so angry. I was so
Oh.
angry. I was like crying.
Right,
I was
right,
like,
right.
I was just, he made me so uncomfortable. He spoke like, I'm like leaving out a lot of the conversation. He just spoke to me so disrespectfully
Mm-hmm.
and made me feel very uncomfortable alone on the side of the road, that I was just like, I'm not going to pay it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay it. I'm going to
Mm.
make them make me do Zoom court. I'm going to make
Tell
it. I'm
my
going to tie up.
story. Right.
Yeah, I'm going to tie up their fucking system
Mm-hmm.
and make them spend their tax dollars on a useless traffic infringement.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the
Oh.
whole thing, became a mess, and my parents kept getting letters in the mail that I had like not paid it because the car was still registered to them in New Jersey.
Oh Lord.
And I was like, fine, fuck it. It was $300.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was just like, I was so angry. And I genuinely, I was just so like,
Mm-hmm.
I was so uncomfortable with this person. I was like, he's going to shoot my dog,
Mm.
because he was that like riled, and she was starting to like stir and move in the seat, and you have to roll
Yeah.
your window down. So
Right.
I only rolled it down like a quarter
A
of the
little
way because I
bit, because
didn't
I
want
don't.
her.
Right.
I don't know what he's going to do, and I don't know
I
what
don't
she's
know
going to
you.
do. Yeah. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I just, my anxiety was through the roof. I was like, this man could shoot my dog. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he could shoot my dog right now, and I have nothing to do.
Right. Right. Right.
So I kind of freaked out. And since then, I'm just like, I get very uncomfortable when there's like a cop car behind me on the road, or
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's
I
like
know.
nothing new to everyone in America,
Yeah.
but you know what I
Exactly.
mean? I've never had like, I never have like a traffic infringement
Mm-hmm.
before, really. So
Okay.
I was just like, this is the big one, you know?
Yeah. Right. 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 And now it's
So
traumatized you.
yeah, because it could have been just like, hey, did you know how fast you're, like, I had that one
Right.
time, like locally, like, oh, do you know how fast you were going? I'm like, no. And they're like, come on, like, it
You
was like
know.
it was like light, it was
Yeah.
light.
Yeah.
This was like, he's, he's not an emotionally stable person.
Yeah. Yeah. He's looking
Yeah.
for an
Yeah,
altercation.
he's looking for exactly. And I started to get very worried about Olive because she
Yeah.
was right there.
Right. Right.
So
She's
I
closest.
just, it just said, that's why I'm like a rule follower. And I like,
Mm.
I can't handle the anxiety of interactions with, like, probably because
Of
I got in trouble so
knowingly
much as a
breaking
kid,
the rules.
of knowingly breaking the law.
Right.
I mean, maybe you wouldn't feel so scared if you knew you were breaking the law, because you're like, I'm doing it.
Right. Like I know
But now
exactly
I'm
what I
like,
did
I didn't know
wrong.
I was doing anything wrong.
Exactly. Right. I thought I was following all the rules.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you
Yeah.
ever gotten like a speeding ticket or something like that?
No, praise God.
No, see, rule
But
followers.
I've gotten pulled over, and I've had a situation like that too. But I didn't get a
Oh,
ticket, which
you
was
didn't get a
great.
ticket?
Mm-mm. It was just like
Nice.
a warning, and I was like, but
Well, oh God. Would you have
yeah,
like a tail light out or something?
no, it was. A pet peeve of mine is when you get on the highway. Let's say the speed limit is 65. Everyone sees a cop. The cop is just on his way somewhere, and everyone's going
Yeah.
40 miles per hour. I hate that. I'm just like, guys,
Yeah.
we don't have to go under the speed limit because that's also dangerous. Like, let's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
maintain 65, 67 because he's a cop, and let's just be
Yeah.
on our way. So, I'm inner city. This is when I was still living in CT, and it was late. I was actually coming back from the studio. So, it was probably, I don't know, it's probably like after 12 or something like that.
Okay.
So I'm on a city street, and there's two lanes going both ways, right? So the speed limit I had just seen, let's say it was like 35 miles per hour. And this cop is like freaking slow. Like he was going like 15 miles per hour, and he's in the left lane. He's in the left lane going 15 miles per hour, which was like 20 miles below the speed limit for that area.
In
In
the
the night,
midnight.
okay? So now I'm just like, all right, guy, like I'm trying to get home. There's not a lot of cars on the street. Like I'm not about to drive 10 behind you. You know what I mean? So I pass him on the right because I'm just like, I don't know what he's doing. Like, I want to get home. As soon as I pass him, whoop, whoop. And I was like, oh my God, what the freak? So my parents have always told me, like, like you're out late a lot. So, if you ever get stopped by the cops, just crack your window, like don't roll your window down thinking, because who knows whether he's going to be on like your left side, your driver's side or whatever. So I pull over, I crack it because it's late. There's no one on this freaking street. I don't know you. I'm by myself. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So he was like, "Can you roll your window down?" And I'm just like, like more. I was like, "I can hear you fine."
You're like an inch more.
Exactly. Literally like. So
Yeah.
anyway, he goes, "You can't pass anybody on the right." And I explained to him exactly. I was like, "Sir, I'm just trying to get home. You were going really slow. I didn't know whether you were, doing something, and I'm just trying to get home." And so he was just like, "All right, but just know that you can't pass people on the right." Da, da, da. I'm like, "Well, you can't be going slow in the left lane. What the freak?" So
Yeah.
yeah,
He
so
didn't.
and I
That's
think
great.
that's
Like to
probably why I didn't get a ticket, because I was wrong, but so were you. If I'm not supposed to pass you on the right, you're not supposed to be going slow in like the fast lane. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
dangerously below the speed limit.
I mean, like dangerously. I'm not like, oh, it was 25 and he was going 20. No, he was like creeping. And I'm just like, I'm not about to, and I can't stand that. I can't when people, oh, we see a cop and now we're just going to act like we're just like barely touching the gas pedal. Like, no, I'm not in the wrong. If
No.
the speed limit's 45, then I'm going 45.
No.
I don't have to go 40 because the cop is here.
Yeah.
So, but he was rude. Not as rude as your guy, but it was late. I'm a young lady. I was like early 20s,
Oh,
by myself, inner city.
yeah.
No, no, no.
No, it's like I just don't feel as though there's like enough education in the I mean, we could go on for hours about police, but just like I think like you know how doctors and nurses we talk about like bedside manner?
Yeah.
I think that if you have to engage with like the public on a regular basis, like you don't know who you're going to get in a hospital, you don't know who you're going to get in a
At the
car, like
government office.
yeah, like it's like I genuinely feel yes, DMV people,
Oh
like
my
I genuinely
gosh.
feel as though there needs to be some kind of element of like human communication, interpersonal communication
Absolutely.
style. So it's not just that you know the law, it's that
Mhm.
you can communicate in a way that's like
To almost
um
all types of
you can
people.
communicate to yeah, like when you look at job listings and they say down in like the oh must know this like must be 5 years of experience or more and then it's like
Yeah.
able to communicate like technical information to like a variety of audiences like
Yes.
like
That
the fact
needs
that
to be
that's
a
even like a bullet
prerequisite.
point
Yeah.
yeah the fact that that's a real bullet point in like layperson jobs like our like out of police out of whatever
Right.
that can be a requirement of like this person needs to be a nuanced communicator.
Yeah.
That should be a requirement
Mhm.
of anybody who is in a position like police, doctor, what have you. Because I
Yes.
also feel like doctors don't always have the best manner of communicating as I also feel very uncomfortable in doctors' offices a lot of the
Yeah.
time. I feel rushed. I feel like I'm not able to properly explain myself. I feel like I'm being judged if I'm explaining something in a way that maybe isn't like
Technically correct or
exactly like I don't
right.
know that like this over here or
It
like how
felt
over
like
here like
this
what
and
if I do
yeah.
that exactly. So
Right.
I've always like felt very like apprehensive and like a
Mm.
because you'll be like, oh well, like I've eaten a lot of salt recently. Like could it be that? And they're just like, no, like
Oh,
okay,
wow. See,
chill
thankfully, I
out.
haven't
Like
dealt with that. Oh,
yeah,
child.
like I've had very negative like interactions with
Medical
doctors as
personnel.
well. Yeah, like as an
Yeah.
adult, like when I was younger, the whole like you just need to lose weight. You have to go and you need to lose weight. Like it's
Mhm.
like since I was like 12, like 11
Yeah.
or 12, I've been like
Same.
go join I'm like just F off, all right? How about that? Don't be a dick. And then, just as I got older, it's more of the same. So it's like of
Yeah.
course it's going to create it could but not for every person, obviously, right? But it can create like negative connotations for those types of people in those
Exactly.
roles. So of course I'm going to be avoidant of
Apprehensive
them.
about
Exactly. It's
yeah.
like cuz I had such a great experience when I was really young. Mr. Baker he was a police officer, and he was like also my softball coach.
Hmm.
And I would see him driving around in my town because he was a police officer in my town, not the town I went to school in. So I
Okay.
would see him, and then his daughter, and like, you know what I mean? Like, it was not, I didn't have like a negative connotation to police
Of
until like
yeah.
later in life and like,
Mm-hmm.
our country.
Yeah.
And then to have that interaction, I was just like, this is
I'm
it.
really not
This is
feeling y'all now.
it. I already had my thoughts and opinions
Yeah.
as an adult, as a young adult in America. And now
Forget it. I
all the good
know.
work that Mr. Baker did to like make me trust a
To
police
get you
officer,
calm. I know.
you know?
It's yeah, I can't stand when people with those types of jobs, especially at like the DMV or City Hall or something like that, when they have such attitudes. I was at the post office a couple years back and I literally stopped going to that particular post office because I was just like, these people are so incredibly rude. I'm beside myself with frustration. Like I
Yeah.
can't. I literally avoided that place. And that whole situation I told you about with like the tickets
Yeah.
and that whole thing. So my parents got a ticket, paid it right away before they even left New Jersey. Okay, it was a parking ticket. Unfortunately, the handicap sign fell. Whatever. So the cop didn't see it. $45. My parents were
That's
like,
crazy. It was only
I
$45.
know, but thankfully only $45.
That's like
So
parking in a parking garage over there.
right, exactly. But they hardly had any parking garages.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, they're like, we want to pay this right now before we even leave so that it's just out of our hair. They did that. 12 days passed. I'm actually in Connecticut. They get their mail. They have something from, Newark Municipal Court or whatever. They're like, why are we getting anything from them? Lo and behold, you open this thing. They're like, oh, you're due for a virtual court appearance because XYZ. And I'm just like, wait a second. Let me read this. Hold on. And they're like, oh, I guess your failure to pay, whatever. 12 days, almost 2 solid weeks from the time that they paid the ticket. So I call just to make sure. I'm like, hey, we paid. We have the confirmation receipt or ticket or whatever. What should we ignore this? Can we ignore this? So the woman was like, oh, yeah, if you got it and you already paid, you could just ignore it. And she hung up. So I was like, okay. And then I was like, I am very thorough. So I was like, wait a second. Let me call back because I could be talking to this girl. She might not know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
I just want to get clarification so I can say I spoke with representative number 123 who said,
Yeah.
at this time on this date that whatever. So I called back. I get another person and I was like, I just got off the phone with another representative, whatever. She was so short with me. So she asked me for like a ticket number that was on the actual ticket. But there was like interchangeable names. It was either ticket number or summons number. So she said something and I was like, she said summons and I only saw ticket, right? So I was like, oh, I don't see anything that says summons here. Ticket number, it's the same thing. Girl, I don't work for Newark, the city of Newark. I was just like, why is it that there's such a cloud over government and state workers? And I'm sure it's not all of them. I've had pleasant
No.
interactions with some of them as well, but I
Yeah.
have many terrible interactions with people who just don't want to be bothered. And you have such a front
No.
facing customer service role. I'll never understand it. And cops,
It's
doctors,
it
your jobs are way too sensitive in nature and the types of things that you deal with, and for you to be non personable,
uh,
like
truly.
it's not
Like,
making sense.
it's actually shocking. Like, especially cuz growing up, so my nonni was the what was she? She was the in our town. She was the I gotta
I
look
don't
this up.
know.
It's wrong that I'm not remembering. But I would go into the municipal building all the time when I was
Yeah.
a kid. We would walk up to Main Street, run inside, say hi, Noani, da da, go to visit her office, say hi to all the people. Like, I was like familiar in that space,
Yeah.
right? And so, and again, same thing. Mr. Baker was a police officer. The police were in the like downstairs section with like one cell in the jail. It's a small
It's a good
town,
town.
and I was very familiar with that environment, going to visit her and everything and saying hi, like, knowing who the mayor was.
Yeah.
So the fact that, like, it's just so crazy that, like, life takes turns and, I'm just like, I feel so opposite to how I felt when I was a kid in that
Mhm.
environment. And I feel so uncomfortable around all of those people. She's also like a little old lady who was like just nice.
Yeah.
This was back, they were still using typewriters right when she
Oh,
retired.
wow.
I
Okay.
think she had a computer, but it was like
It was way
not.
too new.
Yeah, like I think she retired when I was in like high school. So like
Mm.
2006, 2008
Oh, wow.
area.
Okay.
So it was like she left when it was like computerizing.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like, I'm out. Bye. I need to look it up. It was like, shoot me. Ugh, I feel really bad that I don't remember it. I've been to like so many like things where she's been honored. We should
Aw.
talk about that next week. We know we said impact.
Yes.
What were we
Of
talking about
course.
before I started talking about my 20? Oh, so I did feel safe
Back
around.
then.
Yeah, but I mean, I also understand that there's a lot of monotony to the roles
Of course.
of people
But
who work in those offices of like
not an excuse, though.
they're having the same conversation over and over and over
Yeah. And
again.
I've had to
But
tell
it's also
5,000
like,
people, but that's nature
yeah.
of the job.
But my thing is, okay, if you're having monotonous that's the problem. If you have the same conversation over and over and over again, it's monotonous.
No one
Best
knows.
believe, best believe some kind of and technology will take your job.
Mm. Mm. That
So
too.
it's probably really important that you make yourself and your role and the way that you operate in part of the like local government, DMV
Irreplaceable.
people. Yeah, make it so that it's like, no, like, someone couldn't like, you couldn't just give this job to the internet or technology or like a
AI.
kiosk.
Yeah.
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 Because of X, Y, and Z reason, because there's so much nuance or because we need to be able to help with X, Y people, whatever.
Yeah.
It's very disappointing.
It is disappointing. And I think the other thing too, if you find you're having the same conversation with people over and over again, we need to figure out a solution to make more people aware of the thing that we keep having to reiterate because they have so many things to do. I get it. Like, certain parts where you're like interfacing with customers, it's only a part of the job, and
Yeah.
maybe there's a bunch of other stuff that you're doing behind the scenes that we couldn't even imagine or know.
Hmm.
Totally fine. But help yourself. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I'm finding that people don't know the law is to move over to the left when they see an emergency vehicle to the right. So we need to start something where we put up more signage on the streets and every street has one
Please.
something.
What a
Like,
genius
come
idea
on.
of like, why don't we look at the data of
Right.
all the traffic violations in this area and then say, oh, we probably need to do like a communications campaign in
Right.
this area
To
about
let
X, Y,
people
and
know
Z.
about this new law or something. Or people keep speeding. We keep catching people speeding on so and so road. We need to build a speed hump. Like, I don't know.
Like,
They
truly.
just want to give tickets out. Is that what it is? Like,
Yeah, because I mean
because they have quotas?
that's the whole MO is of the quota. It's like, oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. So like you're gonna protect and serve, but you're really gonna like
Trap the
steal our
people.
money and trap us.
Yes. They
That's my
want you to
problem. It's like
speed.
if you want us to turn to you in our times of need and trust you implicitly, then you
Mm-hmm.
can't also be the people who are out to get us
Chastising
with
us and
speeding tickets or
absolutely.
coming at us with ridiculous like cross it walk
That's so
violations.
good. Yeah.
Like it's that just doesn't work.
Right.
That doesn't work. There is, as the trust that you try to build up in a community goes right down.
Yeah. And you can lose trust quickly no matter how long it took to build it.
Oh, I mean, that is like a universal, right?
Yes.
Relationships, local
101.
government. It takes a while to build trust with someone, but it takes a second
A
to destroy it.
second.
Isn't that what people say? It's so sad.
Absolutely. It's
It's
crazy.
so sad. Isn't that a sad fact?
It's a sad fact.
Ugh,
Sigh.
it is.
Well,
Laysai. Oh my gosh.
hmm.
Did you ever do E-Bombs World? Did you ever go on the website E-Bombs World at the beginning of the internet when you were a kid? There
No.
was this like OG meme website called E-Bombs World. They had a bunch of just like different things on there.
Hmm.
games or little short animated videos, like memes.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one where it was this like the history of the world, and it's like stick figures, and it's explaining like how the world's history came to be. I'll send you the link to it.
Okay.
But essentially there's like one part of it where there's the stick figure and he's like representing someone from France, and he's just like with a little cigarette and a little mustache and a beret. It's a stick figure,
Of
mind you.
course.
And he's just like, "Les sigh," about something dramatic. He's like, "Les sigh," because something happened. So
Right,
anytime I
right.
say that, I'm like, "Oh my god, that's
Takes you
such a deep
back.
internet. That is such
That's
a
a
deep
deep
internet reference.
internet
I don't think
cut.
many people would get that."
Right.
Les sigh.
Well, and Ellen's
On
throwback.
that note, that was
Oh my
so
gosh.
relatable to like a very small pocket.
To a
That's
very
relatable to
niche
people who are
market.
wearing low cut socks. That's
Full
relatable
circle.
to low cut sock people.
That's right.
Okay.
Right.
I'm with you. I see you. I am you.
I guess
Well,
I'm
this
with
has been.
the Z people.
Are you mid sock?
No. No, I'm
No.
not. I just
I
meant
have
I didn't
one
know
pair
list
of good
size.
mid
So
socks.
what'd you
Oh,
say?
no.
But you know
I
what?
have one pair of little higher socks.
I have a lot of mid calf socks.
There you go. You're a youth. You're a fun youth.
But it's because I love fun socks. If you're ever looking for a gift
Okay.
for me, fun
That's
socks,
a good
man.
one.
I love fun socks. That's all I have are fun socks.
Really? Like
Legit.
what? Like fun? How fun?
Like
That made me
avocados.
think of. That made me
What are you
think of
thinking?
Meet the Fockers. Fun how? Like haha, funny. Fun how? You think I'm funny?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, wait. Like
Oh
avocados?
wow.
Like
Yeah, like
you like the designed fun socks like that?
yeah, like quirky little fun sayings or
But
like
where are you wearing those socks? Like to the gym
everywhere. Yeah, I'll wear them to the
with
gym.
leggings?
Like in my
Anywhere?
day to day, in my day to day.
Oh my
I
god,
wear
that's so
fun
fun!
socks.
I don't think I've ever noticed that.
Yeah. I
Oh,
love
I need
I
to
guess what
look.
else do you call that? Like patterned designed sock. Like so I just have a bunch of different things. I got like when pigs fly, like I have pigs with wings. I have
Oh my
avocados. I have
god, that's so
cherries.
funny.
I have I like argyle, like crazy color argyle.
Oh, that's
I
fun.
love
That's
little
very creative.
sayings like pizza and like if it's fun and crazy, I like it.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I have like
My socks are white and black.
my socks are so boring. I have one pair that I got from
Really?
my friend Eva that she brought back from Korea, and they
Yeah.
have a little like daisy with a smiley face in it.
Oh, okay.
And they're my fun. So I wear like a really like fitted Skims dark black like
They're my
sexy
fun.
dress
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah.
like a black jacket, and then
Okay.
I'll wear those with my Nikes. And it's
Okay.
like,
Yes.
you know what
We
I mean?
like
I
that.
like that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, there's like something about it that's like
It's a little
fun and
pop
light
of
with the like,
yes.
yeah, and like a slick back
Yes.
bun, little gold hoops, and it's like it's a look.
Absolutely. A look.
That's the only pair of like cute
That's all I
socks I
got.
have anymore. The only other pair I have was like reindeer ones from Christmas.
Okay.
Oh, I had a pair of Alexander Hamilton ones
Okay.
for the musical
Did you get that from
Hamilton.
Broadway? Like
My friend got them for me in the
oh
city.
man.
She's like, I saw these at the store. I had to get them for you because I was a big Hamilton fan.
Right, right.
Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
love
I
that.
think
I love fun socks.
that's fun. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I'm gonna keep my eye out for some cool socks for you.
Thanks.
Good to know.
I have that's like legit all
That
I
would be a
have.
cool merch.
You're so right. Because I love
Regent
fun
socks.
socks. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
about to do that for Ajamoy music too.
That's a good idea,
Regent,
Ajamoye
that's so
music.
good. And you know
You know,
what?
like
Have you ever heard of
Hanes
Printful?
socks, like Supreme Hanes socks. We should do those.
You've heard of Printful.
It's a
Yeah. So
website to
I
print
just
stuff on, right?
yes, but the cool thing about it is you don't have to have like a inventory of things. You don't have to buy 100 pairs of socks. People can go on like to our website or something like that and just be like, "Oh, I want the socks." And Printful takes care of everything for them. So it's like you just give them a percentage and they do everything. They'll send out one. You don't have an inventory of socks. I just
Oh
set
my
up
god,
a
I love that
page to
because
like sync it to one of my funnel sites. So
Oh my
cool.
God, because I have a design that I want to put on a hat that I
Yeah.
made, and it's specific to Chapel Roan's music.
Okay.
And I know it's very specific, but I want to get this hat made, and I'm like, oh, I feel like if I get it and I make it and people see it, they're gonna want to wear it too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how can I set this out? I'll have to check out Printful now.
Printful, girl. Yes.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah. All
Lord.
right. Well,
Well,
we endeavor to maybe we should go work at the DMV. We work at the DMV for a day. By
oh,
the
we
end of it, we're
laughed
like,
from our
we get it.
bellies. Okay.
We get it.
No, we know. We were red caps, okay?
Oh, we
And
know how to work with
RAs.
people.
And we know what it's like to have to repeat the same thing over and over again. And
Mm-hmm.
let me tell y'all that I do not like to repeat myself.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God,
So
same.
I get
When
it.
I was like managing people, I have no problem teaching.
Yeah.
I love to teach. I'm happy to teach. I want to help. I want you to learn. I want you to be better than I am. Like, go and do.
Yeah.
If you didn't go and research this on Google before you asked me something,
Happy to
if it's like
teach
a
you, but if you're
Googleable,
not a self
no, but
starter,
if you're not a self starter, if it's a Googleable thing and you didn't try,
mm,
strike one. If I sat down and I
she's
really
a
take my time when
feisty
I'm teaching
teacher.
someone, I
Yes.
spend a significant amount of time teaching someone. I ask me questions, da da da. Come back a day later, 2 days later, ask me
Yeah,
questions, da da da.
for sure.
If I have to re-explain something that after a certain amount of time I think you should have gotten this already,
We
it's
have a
not good.
problem.
We
Listen,
have a problem.
exactly what
You're
you
my
said.
enemy.
The other, I have no problem like coaching someone through something that I know how to do, right?
Oh yeah.
But a huge pet peeve. And maybe because I'm this type of person, if someone's like coaching me, like, okay, so first you're going to do this. And then when you see this, you're going to do this.
I'm
I'm
writing
taking
notes.
notes.
I'm taking yeah.
If you're not taking notes as I'm literally here to teach or coach you, and you ask me later, what's that thing again?
You know
You
what
lost me.
happens? You know what happens? Because I would have a lot of people, because I would do these big presentations at Refinery to like a bunch of people. I'd show everyone where everything is. How do you get to it?
Yeah.
Here's a document. In the document, just
Mm-hmm.
save the document, the Google Doc.
Yeah.
In the document, I would give step-by-step instructions of how to do all the
Absolutely.
things so that you don't have to
Absolutely.
come to me all the time. And what they would
So I don't have
find,
to talk to you.
because I don't
No,
want to have the same conversation 15 times over.
that's what I'm saying.
And I was
Talk about
very
it, Ellyn.
thorough with the way that I would teach and educate and roll stuff out.
Yes. Amen.
So if then I found emails, usually Slacks, hey,
Uh-huh.
Ellyn, where's this document? You were never getting an answer from me.
Yeah.
You're never going to get an answer from me. You're going to think, oh, she's busy. She's in a meeting. She's da da da
Right.
da.
I love the
And like
pettiness. I do.
literally 9 times out of 10, by the end of the day, I go back and check those messages because I would mark them as unread, go
Yeah.
back and check them. Oh, don't worry. I found it.
I know you would.
I had faith.
Because I'm thorough from jump.
I had faith you'd find it. I also had faith you'd probably bother somebody else about it and they would help you.
Yes.
And that wasn't going to
Yes.
be me.
Right, right. It's so because here's
Sorry.
the thing, and this is not coming from a place of like, I don't want to be bothered. Don't ask me the same question again.
No,
Really?
not at
What's
all.
happening here is that, like you, when I was working in corporate and had to coach people and do all this type of stuff, I made full manuals, full
Yes.
hyperlinked manuals, step by step. I had pictures. I did all the things. First couple of times, you might want a little bit of like a hand holding. And we're also doing this in
Yeah.
person, bruh. But if you keep asking me the same question that is clearly identified in the manual, and before I did the manual, I remember this one particular thing. Before I did the manual, I would just coach them through. And like,
Mm-hmm.
and I know in my experience when I first started that particular job, I was taking notes because it was such a like a process heavy type of thing that it was like if I don't take notes, what am I logging it all up here? I'm totally new to it, don't know anything, and I'm just it's all up here. No, it's not. Don't ask me again because I already
No.
said what it was and you didn't take a note. So I guess you'll figure it out.
And that's the thing is they're relying on you. They're like, you know what? I don't have to commit this to memory because
Because
this
she
person's
knows
always going to
everything.
tell me. She's going to do it for me. She's always going to answer
No,
me when
she
I want.
won't.
And that's the thing is I watched a lot of people, in particular women in my office, like do and go above and beyond in those types of scenarios for other
Yeah.
women and for a lot of men. And it's like, it's not my job to be your memory.
Mm-mm.
It is your job to commit something to memory.
Right.
And if you don't think it's important enough to commit to memory, then it's not important enough for me to answer you.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have other stuff going on. Even if I don't have anything going on, even if it's a slow day, I am
Even if
not
it's a slow
going,
day.
yeah, I'm not going to,
Answer your
I
every
am,
question
I,
at every
I'm
beck and
telling you,
call. No.
once I started like clearly identifying what was happening, because I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I couldn't get work done in a day. I was staying late past 7:30 I was like, it was getting out of hand.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's because when I'm trying to get my work done, when people slack me during the day,
You're
I
getting
stop doing my work
interrupted.
to answer them
Yeah.
and to take care of what they need because it's so pressing.
Right. Right.
And I then can't get my own work done.
Mm-hmm.
So I started taking a step back and like, no, I have done everything that I can possibly think of to teach, educate, disseminate the information, make it
Right.
easily accessible. Everything is in one place. Everything
Mm-hmm.
you could ever need to know about that thing is in that document.
Right.
If
I've done
you're
my
not
part.
going, yeah, if you're not gonna work for yourself, I'm not gonna work for you.
Right. Exactly.
I don't have
And
time for it.
and the
Because
thing
there's so
is,
many people that will just take advantage.
oh
People are
yeah,
so
they don't
happy to
care.
take advantage of you in an office setting.
Oh yeah.
I see so many people getting taken advantage of now,
Mm-hmm.
back then and now, friends that I still know. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, it's it upsets me for them because they're not in a position. Because I really did. By the end, fuck this make shit. By the
Mm-hmm.
end of the Vice, I was really in my power
Mm-hmm.
of like, I'm not going to do that. That's not my job. I'm going to do this. I am the expert of this, this, and this. This is how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Here's the information you need. Like, act with respect and you'll get respect back.
Yeah.
If you act like an asshole, trust that your message will go unanswered.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm an adult and I deserve respect and you are my peer and I will give you what you give me.
Exactly. Right.
I'm never going to stoop to someone's level and be horrible. You're just going to get silence.
Yeah.
You know what I
Because
mean?
I'm
It's
not
just
engaging.
I'm not here to entertain bullshit. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm a whole person with a whole life just like you. There's no reason for anyone to have attitude. There's no reason for anyone to speak in any type. Raise your voice to me. I mean, that
Oh,
happened.
please.
That
Right.
happened to
Right.
me. That happened to
Mm.
me. Raising your voice, yelling to the point where you're echoing in your home on Zoom.
Mm.
You're echoing in your billiards room that we can all see while we're all fucking struggling to pay our bills and take care of ourselves with your fucking billiards room behind you.
Oh,
And you're going
great.
to have the audacity to yell.
Right. Don't get us started. Shoot.
I think
We're out of
no, truly, I could
corporate
go. I literally,
and
I know, I
still
don't think
hot.
about this. I don't think about this stuff anymore. I like
Me
it. It's so
either.
funny.
Me
It's so
either.
funny. Don't you feel like I like people are like, oh, Sunday scaries now, and like, oh, this, like,
Mm.
oh, or like I hear people like just want to talk and about how much they hate their jobs, and I'm like, I have nothing to contribute
No. Right. I just
to
like,
this
oh,
conversation.
wow.
That's why I think it's important to be around other entrepreneurs and like be
Yes.
actively in conversation with other entrepreneurs because if you're the only one doing the thing, it's like everyone around me is complaining about their job. They hate their job. They hate their boss. They hate their hours. They hate the projects they work on.
Mm-hmm.
They hate Sunday nights, and I'm like, I cannot relate to any of that anymore.
Right. Right. Right.
You
It's a
know,
totally different lifestyle. Truly, it
I just
is.
want to make the same money I was making before.
And more, you will. You
I am
shall.
I'm I am in my belief. I've decided I'm going to start posting all the things instead
I
of
love
like
this.
editing myself. I'm going to post all the things. I'm going to be
Mm.
really online. I'm going to be very vulnerable
Okay.
because I need to have the life that I want to have. And to
Yes.
do that, I know the way to do that on the internet, but you've just got to be bold and you have to do it. So
Yeah.
get ready for vulnerable Ellyn all day, every day live action content.
Okay. Let's do it.
I just
Here we
know that I
go.
have to now put makeup on every day.
You don't have to if that's what you want to, by all means.
I know.
Yeah.
But I need to have like an inviting photo, an inviting first, like, this is what, oh, come in, Ellyn. And then I can start not wearing makeup
Come
again.
in.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then once you're
Like,
there,
oh, yeah.
we're
Like, oh,
family.
she's so real. She sometimes doesn't wear makeup. That's
Yeah, yeah,
great.
yeah.
We
Right.
like her. But the first thing that's going to bring you in, puppy in the window.
Yes, yes. Duck lips. Oh my
Oh my
gosh. I
God.
love
Well,
it.
on that note,
On that note.
on that note,
Yes.
follow us on social media everywhere.
Absolutely.
You'll be able to see some vulnerable stories. You're going to be able to get maybe some socks from Aja, Moye Music.
You never know. All sorts of
Yeah,
things are in store.
hey,
Get some
you
live
never know.
action content from Ellyn. Okay.
I love it. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the
Yes.
Regents podcast. I am Ellyn. You can find me at Ellyn with a Y everywhere on social media. This is Aja.
Yes, I am Aja, and you can find me at Aja Moye Music. That's AJA, M as in Mary, OYE Music on all platforms. Where can they
And you
find you,
can,
Ellyn?
oh, Instagram and TikTok
Okay,
only
that's right.
exclusively. And you can also follow the Regents podcast at the Regents podcast at Regents Pod on podcast on Instagram and TikTok as
And
well.
TikTok.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, follow us on YouTube, give us
Share.
5 stars in the App Store,
That's
share,
right.
comment on our YouTube.
All the comment
I
on
need to
our
come up
IG
with like
videos.
I need to come up with like the spiel for the end of it, so it's like fast and we can do it
Yes,
like,
yes.
like an
It'll be committed to memory.
yeah,
For
like
sure.
like drug commercials where they're like
Like, follow, comment, subscribe on at Regis Podcast on
like
YouTube.
exactly where we just do it like ASMR. We're like
Yeah. We always end
oh
with
my God.
ASMR for all our
Right.
ASMR
Well, on
peeps.
that note, Olive's done.
Olive's red. All
Gotta
right.
roll.
We thank y'all for
Thanks,
listening and
everybody.
watching. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
The Regents Podcast. The Regents Podcast.